Hey everyone, I know I'm a bit late with it, but after a ton of updates, sneak peeks, and things to come, I think there's a few things still worth mentioning. I've been baked alive in this heat wave over here, but we're back, so let's dive in. So 5 days ago, as of the recording of this video, on the 27th of June, this was the last update to be released, or the last patch, shall I say. They updated the menu, spawn menu and functions, which is the map itself. You can choose where to go, but it doesn't work, and there's no skip. Updated skin system to fix the import exploits. You know when it turns black, or like people trying to add their own colors into it, it ends up breaking the game. But this is something that they brushed up on, and we'll touch up on that a bit later in the video. Fixed Kentrosaurus sprint animation not playing correctly at all growth stages, cool. Fixed juvenile subadult Tyrannosaurus either do formations, alright. Fixed small floating area in the swamp. Updated Kentrosaurus sprint speed, which was an important one because it went up to, what was it, 49 I think? No, 47? It was quite quick. Sarah's never had a chance. They did adhere to that later on, but we'll get to that. Fixed Trudon Prime Elder Weight. I don't use Trudon, but I'm guessing that was a buff? Was it a nerf? Someone let me know, I don't know. Fixed AI not spawning with random skins if requested. Fixed being able to interrupt swallowing by pressing G. I didn't know about that. But what I would say is, I use controller and I have to set the buttons differently. So as a Terra, if I'm spearfishing, it doesn't pick up the food when it comes towards you. What happens is it drops on the floor, then every time you try to pick it up, you end up spearfishing again. I don't know if anyone else is going through that, but let me know in the comments if you are. Fixed Maiasaura being able to toggle stance during certain abilities. Now I'm new to Maya, so I don't know if that was someone who was trying to cheat things or if it was something that ended up bugging the game, I don't know. Updated Envenomation Fog Oppression. That actually I enjoy, I do like that. It doesn't look as bad as it did before. There is some vision that you can actually make out. I think the timings have changed as well. Fixed Crash Instance, there has been less crashes. Well, I haven't crashed once actually, to be fair. Removed some secrets, added others. I'm sure we know by now some of those secrets was the Quetz, Camarasaurus, and the Para. Also the new buildings, small other things, I'm not too sure. Next. So 2 days ago on the 30th, they lowered Kentro max run speed to 1100. Ceratosaurus is 1120, I believe. So Cera's that little bit, still got that little bit of edge on it. Fixed regional spawn location UI always showing. I don't know what that is. Fixed Carno Idol animation. Fixed Baby Juvenile animations. Fixed Guts Fade to Black tunnel entrances not blocking animals. So I'm guessing the tunnels that we're not supposed to pass, they was allowing creatures to get through a certain way. Fixed Aquatic Underwater PP never resetting if player respawns. Not sure what it is. Removed Omni Test teeth, mouth, claws, gradients on default pattern. Fixed invisible blocking object near marina. If that's near South Plains, it was on the hill next to the radio tower. I know where that is. Fixed swimming VFX for Maya, Carno, and Trike. Now that was the last patch until the Devlog, which dropped yesterday, which was Devlog 70. Began with Ariel, the programmer, explaining about eggs and nesting. Basically, players could spawn in with an egg and not use the egg, which will end up with the egg not being used and that slot being locked. So basically what they've done is enabled it so the egg will automatically hatch after a certain amount of time, which is cool. Also the camera systems. This is something that's interesting because it was mentioned previously by Dundee, and he was explaining that he wants every dinosaur to have its own viewpoint. So there won't be no 360 view around you, like you will have the eyesight or close to the head of a view. So that'll be interesting when that hits. I don't know if people will like that, to be honest, but we'll see what happens. Visual Tech 48, the environmental artist, gives a small little backstory into the new locations and the buildings, the necropsy area and the incineration pit. If you look at the picture, this is where the Quetz was held. But then at the same time in the background, I was having a look at some of those structures, like that 4-towered one. It looks like a dam structure, but I don't remember seeing that anywhere in the game itself. If you look closely, you'll notice the vending machine is empty, as it should be. This was interesting to me because I was like, what does cointh mean? And when I looked at it, it was some sort of cryptocurrency company, so that's interesting. This reminded me of the Jurassic Park scene where Sadler had to go into D room to restore the power. So it seems like this server room could be a thing if humans were introduced. That could be a mission for them. Who knows? This building looks very clean. I'm not sure what it is, but it looks like a medical hub or something like that. But anyway, we'll move on to the next point, which is sound design. Wedge has been talking about Camarasaurus, Baryonyx, and Avaceratops, talking about how the Camarasaurus is getting some deep bellowing sounds, a sonic palette that he's messing with to help produce some tonality, song-like calls, basic growls, tectonic transistent clicks and thumps underpinning its soothing calls, representing internal musculature and kinetic energy needed for it to both move and vocalize. So they're gonna make it sound huge but also majestic as it flows over the plains. It's gonna be an amazing sound. Baryonyx, they've made a sound for the juvenile, so it captures the difference between the adult and the baby. The Avaceratops, they've got a new team member which has joined, and well, we know how the sound design is on the aisle already, so I'm looking forward to that. The animation supervisor, Kissing Kitten, states that there's not much really to say because we already know what she's doing, which we do. She's doing the animations, right? But what she does say, which is very interesting, is basically the things that we've been waiting for. She has confirmed that the OV, Baryonyx, and the Camarasaurus are awaiting their horde test debuts, meaning that they're pretty much ready. We've seen what they need doing. It seems like it's the last thing. So as soon as this horde test drops to Evrima, 2 days later, the new horde test will drop, in which OV Bary, at least 2 of them, will be introduced soon, coming very soon. Now, this interesting piece of paragraph right here is from the director. At the time of writing this, which is, as all you know, the absolute last second, the horde test should be sitting on the final build before being sent to Evrima. Now, as I'm stating this, that last build has already been implemented into horde test, so there won't be another patch to horde test. The next thing will be introduction to Evrima, and then 2 days later, next horde test will start with OV, Bary, and Camara. Beautiful. There will be a quick turnaround at the end of the week for the next horde test. So what, we're sitting on what, Thursday now? Tomorrow or Saturday we're looking for. Osteoraptor will once again be immediately available with a few other features rushing to the door not too far behind it. So everything's coming by next week. Hill sliding will be coming in for all of the animals to help mitigate sliding down terrain to your doom, but it won't save those of you that don't look before you leap. You'll also feel a notable difference in various animals moving up or down steep terrain, with quadrupeds holding an advantage uphill. So there's no point running away uphill from a quad. Basically, Mayas have got a little buff. That's nice, actually. Destructible foliage will be featured, where mass and speed are relevant to being able to crush smaller foliage underfoot or knock down trees. Some of the larger trees remain unaffected by this. This is beautiful, as well as keeping the smaller plants so you can't turn a forest into a desert, because I know if you could, you would. Obviously, all the same, seeing 2 massive animals clear out an area when fighting is pretty cool to see. I mean, especially when Camarasaurus enters, it's just going to be trampling down areas like no one's business. That's so sick. Obviously, the frames are going to be disgusting, but what would happen to the moving foliage setting? Would they remove it or what? I don't think anyone uses that anyway, to be fair. You all broke it about 7 times, but the skin system now seems to function as intended, which has allowed us to start hammering additional patterns and palettes out. This is what I'm waiting for, especially with the Serra, because there's so many opportunities to do so much, and at the moment it's just yellow, dark yellow, orange, brown, dark brown, bright orange. It's just a lot of similar tones. The wound system will be receiving one more small update, much like the other effects that increase as you get below half health, and below, individuals that grow increasingly injured will visually begin to limp and suffer speed penalties up to a cap. Interesting. Based proportionately on lost health. So there's no diving into a fight if you know that you're gonna get hit, because like if you know that it's gonna get into a little situation, yeah, second decisions on that one. Visually, players can now more easily identify weaker targets before a fight begins or as wounds develop during an altercation. Moreover, truly injured targets can no longer flee at full speed while also approaching death's door. Commitment to fights matter, and sometimes it's not about outrunning the threat, just your friends. And yes, the scratch marks that cover every animal we're injured will be replaced. So that's interesting. So now when you get headbutted, you won't get a slice on your tail. Cool. It's gonna be like, you know, according to the body part. That makes sense. That makes sense. I'm enjoying what's happening. I like where the art is going in terms of the direction. And I think that these little implements, these little qualities of life, these little things here and there, like, it's all the devs listening, acting on it, actually trying to make a good game. I'm with it. I'm with it. They say the next part has nothing to do with the upcoming Hortez content, just thought it was neat because arbor bursting, I don't know what it is, but they say it's time to get rid of it. Looks like a mutant tree to me. Either way, interesting. And now, what nobody was expecting, the announcement of the next playables after Spinosaurus, which are Shantungosaurus, Ankylosaurus, Homalocephaly, Megalania, and Gigantosaurus. Megalania and Gigantosaurus are going to be my favorites, to be honest. I mean, a giant Komodo dragon and, come on, it's a Giga. You know what I mean? That's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. If you didn't, then please leave it unlike. Do whatever you want. Yo, the art is going places, and I swear, yeah, they haven't mentioned Quets, but I'm sure it's gonna make an entrance quite soon. I'll see you lot on the service.